Hello.
Mar Chasima Tova.
Rachatima Tova. How are y'all?
Baruch Hashem. Took a nice long name. Okay.
I'm jealous.
So look, you're still in Seattle?
We are still in Seattle. We go to Atlanta on Wednesday.
Okay.
Next week is Erev Yom Kippur. Next week Sunday. You think
We'll be in the same time zone.
we'll be in the same time zone? You want to try or?
Let's play it by ear. Since my wife is in Detroit right now. She was on there for Rosh Hashanah, so we'll wait till she gets back and see what the story is.
Okay.
Okay. We're on page
29.
29. Okay. The Machlokes was Sagan and Ben Meir. So let's start. I guess you start at top right. Ben Meir, Aharon. Achiri Sfurim Shishma Prati Hu Yehuda O Shlomo. It's always known. I'm not sure where that comes from. Most people call him Aharon. Rosh HaChabura, Rosh HaShiva, Beretz Yisrael. He was in Tveria. He's Ches Beis David, Shushel Sansim Beis Hillel. He was although there were no longer obviously any Nesiim, and no longer any official positions, and certainly no more smicha, but he was part of that chain, that lineage. Yudiyos Hashanos Machlokas. Machlokas are now no dollar Rishon Mimkos Lo Yudiim. We don't know from Jewish sources until the Geniza was discovered. No Jewish sources were available. Karai Sahal ben Matzliach Asher Chai B'dor Shorchei Rasag Kosei. So, important note: the Karaites, the public enemy number one for the Karaites was the Gaon, because he fought against him tooth and nail. So he says, "B'mei ha-pitumi kinui gnai l'Reb Gaon me'a'ir fum b'fi ha'karoim." So okay, so they call him the pitumi as a derogatory description. Asher pita anoshim who seduce people v'nechlaku b'moadim. They argue about the Yom Tovim. V'kilu elu es elu. They cursed each other. V'yasu anshay echad hamoed b'yom hazeh.
Anshay Eretz Yisrael.
Oh, sorry. Anshay Eretz Yisrael hamoed b'yom hazeh. Anshay Bavel asu b'yom acher. Yesh anashim yishuchnei Eretz Yisrael shulchol chei habavliim. Gam shuchnim be'eretz Shinar, which is Bavel, halchu achrei anshay Eretz Yisrael. Midvarim elu, so we see that there was machlekes from these words, and of course, from other sources. Nitan Levin shel machlekes is pashta, bekilos Yisrael be'eretz Yisrael through communities in both Eretz Yisrael and in the diaspora. And there was a discrepancy and a split with schism. Keeping the Yom Tovim. Edus no sevas machlokas motzim etzel sefer hasuri, found by a Syrian author. Elia means Sivin, sounds Jewish, I guess maybe Christian. Hamasaper shnash shlosh meos v'teisha lahajara. I guess he's a Muslim. Near to 309 years after the Hajara of Muhammad's trip to Mecca. Niklasu b'Shabbos Yud Beis B'Yar. 12 Mai, Shoshnas Aleph Reish Lamed Beis Vayivanim. Still not sure what he was. 1232 Lishtaros. Ban Aflo Machlokas Ben Yudin Shema Rav Eretz Yisrael Ben Yudin Shema Mizrach Bavel. Teshbon Moadeim. The Yudea Marav Asu with Rosh Natan B'Yom Shlishi B'Shabbat. But Tarshu Yisrach B'Yom Chamishi B'Shabbat. So the ones in Eretz Yisrael made Rosh Hashanah on Tuesday, and ones in Bavel made it on Thursday. Actually, the Machlekes started the Pesach before. Because since the only months which fluctuate are Cheshvan and Kislev, so you have to change the lulach in those months, even for anticipation of following Rosh Hashanah. So therefore, there was already an issue for Pesach. Okay.
Okay.
Hasharot l'sibata machloket. The various different theories why there's a machlokas. But the Initially, the researchers brought up hasharos shonos, different theories, the sibas of machlokas, about the machlokas. Hayu chokrim shechashdu b'ven Meir shubadas cheshbon amras bamras. I don't know what amras stands for, but bamras stands for 642 halakim, which was the issue, which is going to discuss, I guess, elsewhere on the page. Just to create a machlokas. And this way to restore leadership to Chacham Eretz Yisrael. Beit in 71, Hela Reb, whoever, Franco, Svarash Machlokas Misachezel Ina Kedushas Rosh Hashanah. Has to do with the Kedusha Rosh Hashanah. Shibnei Eretz Yisrael you Osimos Yom Echad. They still make it to 1 day, according to this opinion. Haslach Mebav Yomayim. Bav they're making it 2 days. Yishchashush ben Meir Loivin as Arbas Hasharim. He didn't understand the 4 Sharim of the Luach. V'lo yadal avchin ben Nisan and Tishrei. He didn't know the distinction between Nisan and Tishrei. V'yishchashu bashu stam shoev tikunim. He just wants to change things. And he wants to diminish the he wants to diminish the amount of the reasons we push things off. No logic to them. Amud Zemuvo has both showed Tzadik Bav Yafer al Evdim of the limit because of Matzah Shel Cheshbon Molados. The difference between the origins of the Cheshbon of Molados, Bein Chachmei Bavel, Bein Chachmei Eretz Yisrael. Because as bears then, and something similar to this explanation is as Beto show Chai Bornstein. Shamakor Machlokas about Leah's Manchebet and Bavel Yerushalayim has a discrepancy in times between Bavel and Yerushalayim. The Shemot Tishrei Shel Tarpad, Dal Tarpad, Chal Bavel Achar Chatzos Yom HaShabbos. It happened in Bavel after it was noon. Nifsal Sham, and therefore it's puzzled because it was a Molad Zaken. He named Yerushalayim 10 Bigel L'Shah Yud Ches.
Nikla Rosh Hashanah Bo B'Yom.
Yeah, I know what you said. I guess Yerushalayim it happens later on, slightly later. Okay, in any event, I have my own theory, which I published in English and in Hebrew, which is that the Machlokas was based on where the Jewish community was in China at the time. It is based on the assumption that the 18 hours, which we're going to see, I hope, discussed here, and the 8 Zaken is that the new moon has to be seen somewhere in the world on Rosh Hashanah, not necessarily in Yerushalayim, and it would be in the right outside the most easterly yishuv in the world, and the most easterly yishuv in the world at the time was in Kaifeng, China, which is slightly to the, not slightly, about 35 minutes to the west of where the theoretical Ktseya Yishuv is, if you measure an absolute 90 degrees from Eretz Yisrael. So Psadigo was going by the absolute 90 degrees from Eretz Yisrael, and Rabbi Rahamim Meir is going by the Ktseya Yishuv where the Jews actually lived, which is not 90 degrees, but 35 minutes closer to Shearim. And we'll come back to that, I guess, later on after we see what he says. Nitzchonam Shasag v'Chachmei Bavel. V'zman shepartzah machlokas, when this machlokas came up, I saw Yadus Bavel mefulegas. Judaism in Bavel was split. Rab Mevaser Kana haya sharui beriv. He was machlokas in Ben Zakai Rosh Hagolah. So these two people in the machlokas. When Meir Sher-Shalom Eretz Yisrael nitzeles hapilug b'golas Bavel, he exploited this the schism in Bavel k'dei lashlit es mesores avras bamras shalom, in order to bring into to impose his mesores of 641, 642. Absadi was not a Gaon at the time. He understood the danger to the achdus of Am Yisrael with such machlokas. and he joined the fray to protect their Masoras. Evidently, that was not machlokas from Mavaser, Kana, and Ben Zakkai. Their machlokas there was a separate machlokas, but it was a time of which, according to this, Ben Meir felt he could exploit. Now, the assumption of this is that there is no Rabbi Rahamim Meir did not have a legitimate reason to come up with his shita. He was just trying to exploit circumstances, and it was a political move. I don't think that's fair, but that's what the basic assumption of this perspective is. They wanted to fight for some reasons. By that time, already there was the luchos based on the 4 techios were already widespread, and this Rabbi Meir is trying to modify them. Beis Masoras Amras Bamras Lo Yisaydu Bagola. This Masora was not known in the Gola. Kimo Masoras Ha'am Niskabel Tishrei Kereishis Hashana. So the Tishrei is seen as the beginning of the year. L'chein has a muvan me'elav. Therefore, it's understood shechishuvei molados yasu lefi molad vid l'tishrei. So this goes back to what he's going to give us his theory, or whatever, Bornstein's theory, which is has to do with the Molados before the world was actually created. The Molados of Tohu, of the years which didn't exist. And as you'll see that there's according to his theory, the machlekes whether we go after the Molad, initial Molad being in Tishrei, or the initial Molad being in Nisan. And the sheet of Rosh Hashanah was based on the initial Molad, hypothetical Molad, being in Tishrei. That carried the day because everybody saw Tishrei as the beginning of the year. Yeshivas Bavel Amdu al Ramag Voha. Bavel, the yeshivas were very high regard. Those are put in the communities throughout the world turned to Bavel with questions, and they accepted their determination. Bavel was the central spiritual center. Rav Sadi he was very great, and he also had a strong personality. With his power of persuasion, he united the Jews in Bavel and brought to their victory. Now, there's another svara, which I think is probably more true, which is that Rabbi Rahamim Meir died shortly after the machlokas. So once he died, that was that. Okay. Going to the Middle machlokas ben Meir l'chach Meir Yisrael l'ben Masar chach Bavel kviyas hashnim dal tarpag. This is the issue. The years 922, 923, and 924. In these years, Am Yisrael was divided and when it kept on David. He was the one who brought back the Masor Bavel. They brought back the unity. Shoshei machlokas. Have the lamb minagim ben Yisrael ben the heirs of Bnei Bavel. Shoshei machlokas. Now, this is part of his hashara, which is so I guess really it's before we do his hashara, we should really go to the last column where he gives the basics. This is confusing because the middle column, you need to have the left column in order to understand the middle column. Okay. So Psak, Rabbi Yigam ben Yosef, Yodu kan Yoha Piumi, Al Piumi, Bina Ir Pium Asher ben Mitzrayim. Yismael Gaon Rosh Yeshiva Surah B'Shnas Dalet Tarpach, which is later on, 4 years after Machlokas. Nolad Dalet Tarmav, that's coincidental. He was born in the year 642, 4642. Actually, 642 was the number in question in this Machlokas. Niftar Dalet Tashab. by the year 4702. The way you set the years in different versions. Wasn't face to face. By one table. The was by sending letters. From the exchange which is found in the Gniza in an imperfect form. Each side had difficulty understanding the other side. Each one of the Masoras which was
Phrased.
different way. What did you say?
I said phrased.
Phrased. Thank you. Telephone shiur. So I broke a telephone. Besides, there's difference of 641 chalakim. Osam klalim. These are the same principles. Which are how did you say again?
Phrased.
Phrased in different ways. They were phrased by Chachmei so in a general way. Adu zakein suach kahaz chadu. They were more detailed. I have no idea what he means by that. Okay, Meir, Imras Bamras. Okay, Imras means 641, Bamras is 642. Meir Tuain. Shamasores Shahi Biado Shim Nolati Shei Bechad Mi May Beis Gimel Hey Zain. Meir Shuak Shearim L'Tchulas Rosh Hashanah, which are the days when Rosh Hashanah can occur, since it can occur on Aleph Dalet above. Rima Im Nishtayer Revia Yom Chaser Amras Chalakim Kovim Rosh Hashanah B'Yom HaMolad. If there's a quarter of the day left after the Molad, but not a full quarter. Even if it's missing 640 chalakim, you could still make Rosh Hashanah that day. If there's 642 chalakim missing, you push it off. So, in other words, the which in the Gemara itself says has to do with chatzos at midday. If the molad is after midday, you have to push it off. If the molad is before midday, you can keep it. You have to push over Rosh Hashanah. If the molad is on the before chatzos, you can keep Rosh Hashanah that day. So no, we said you have a grace period. The chias molad rak im amol chal tarmav chalakim acharei. So you comes out more than 6 or 8 chalakim after the 18th hour, which considering the 6 hours, 9, 12 hours in a day means chatzos hayom. Chachmei Bavel lo shum masor zev lo muska lo muchanim lekabla. Chachmei Bavel never heard from such a masoras, and they're not willing to accept it. Chachmei Bavel mispasasim al masoras arba chios arba sharim. Straight up, arba the arba chios re'ei be Amud 36. This is going to be explained. Look, arba sharim on that basis. We'll explain Amud 46. B'shar shechachmei Eretz Yisrael gbilus midas hashana b'koach haklal shel suach kahaz chadu asuzos bavel chachmei bavel b'derech yosef pshuta. Whatever suach kahaz chadu means, he's not explaining to us, but we had a much simpler way in Bavel. L'shtei had the chiyas rishona shel adu maladz. Okay, to the two original chiyos, which are that Rosh Hashanah can't come out on a Sunday, a Wednesday, or a Friday, and it can't come out a day in which the molad will be afternoon in usual a noontime usual line. They added 2 other tchios. So we see state tchios. The tchias gatrad. The gatrad is if the molad comes out on a Tuesday, after 9 hours into the day. 9 hours a day is like 3 o'clock in the morning.
6 o'clock in the morning.
No,
you're right. 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
And 204 chalakim. This comes 356 days. comes to prevent having 356 days between that Rosh Hashanah and the next Rosh Hashanah. Utchias b'tu takpat, limnoy of shus l'shanah muberes bas 382 yamim, to eliminate that possibility. The b'tu takpat comes out of Monday, after 15 hours after 9 o'clock in the morning, and 589 chalakim. Now, in these last two tchios, anticipating the following Rosh Hashanah, and saying the following Rosh Hashanah is going to be on a day which we don't want it to be. So therefore, even though this Rosh Hashanah could be on this day, wouldn't be a problem, because both of these times are before Chatzos. The Molad is before Chatzos, whether it's at 3 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning. But nevertheless, in anticipation of a problem the following year, we're already going to make adjustments this coming in the ensuing year. Okay, so therefore, based on this arba chiyus, bonu chachmei Bavel's luach arba shorim she'ifshar limtzo es simun hakviyus shel kol shana api molada. You can find the kviyus of each year based on its molad. Ben Meir pasal b'tchila shita zu says klei bor kupshati. Meaning like to have things so simple. Achlachar shoar kama mekabel luach arba mukubal. But since we have to saw how accepted luach arba shorim b'chol kilos agola, he also accepted evidently the simplified luach, but he made a new one. He added 641 chalakim to all the deadlines of Chachmei Bam. In other words, he had the leeway of 35 minutes on each one of them. And the truth is that that 922 in the first year, it was a b'tu takpat issue. No, it was a gashran issue. And he added 642 chalakim to that one. So because each one of the tchios, he added 600. Well, I do Rosh. It's not relevant. The other three tchios, which are based on times of day, he added 35 minutes leeway. This made the people in Bavel angry because they were concerned justifiably. They for now the Bavel will not know which luach is correct. Now, Ben Meir may be Rabos Shenosek Sashimi Ubiyad Chachmei Bor Beretz Yisrael Milvad. It's important. Ben Meir never gave us an adequate explanation of the 642 chalakim. He just basically the argument was, you don't have to understand these things. Yours not the reason why. Yours is to follow Eretz Yisrael and not to complain, because we're in charge of the luach, whether you like it or not, whether you understand it or not. So he refused to explain where he got the 642 chalakim from, which gave Ben Meir a bad rap, maybe justifiably so, because he was arguing from authority, not from logic. All the evidence you bring, they have to do with making a leap year. And in terms of leap year, we have no basic machlokas. We use a cycle. In terms of determining Rosh Chodesh, Mizeh Shanim Rabos Shamdu Chachmei Bavel Al Sodei Yibur V'Karhim Kovin Chadoshim Modim Adas Atzmam Pikolim Muskamim L'Shosam Shel Chachmei Yibur B'Eretz Yisrael. In other words, basically the authority was transferred to us at some point, right? We got from you hundreds of years ago, or well, some time ago, we got the principles, and since then we are determining on our own, and we're not contingent on you. Even though it would seem from the Gemara that we are contingent on Eretz Yisrael, we're not, and therefore we're going to make determinations on our own. Okay. Now going to the middle column. So this is his, or I should say, Chesed Bornstein's hypothesis. There's no actual basis in evidence. This is Shili hypothesis. That's why anybody can come give their own hypothesis, because who says that this hypothesis is more correct than any other one. And it's based on, as I said, the molad of Tohu. Okay, so he says, the roots of the machlokas, and now the utzim the machlokas akduma ben Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Shua, im olam nivra b'tishrei v'nisan. Was auch korrekt Tishrei Nisan. Fisaim yeshlim nosa shlim chashet kvosim olados misan or mitishrei. We count them to kufa the seasons and the molados from Nisan Tishrei. But it's a son nogalim nosa sashanim bin mini son. We don't know that for a fact. That's a hypothesis. B'val manu sashanim mitishrei. Machlokas ben Meir rasag nabas efo me'ev deleha min agim ben Eretz Yisrael Bavel. It is one of the different discrepancies in the minhagim between Eretz Yisrael and Bavel. Hareka machlokas im nikva bilkudas motzal cheshbon olados vid letishrei. Do we go after an initial molad being on a Friday, 14 hours into the day on Tishrei? Or is it Daled Tes, right, on a Wednesday, to 9 hours in a day in Nisan? Lefi Asher Osem Shem Lumadim Bornstein v'Yafeh. He's going to Shmona Shalom Bnei Protzim Machlokas, and now there was a before 80 years before this Machlokas came out. There was a Keneshach Chachmei Abur Meretz Bavel. They had the convention. Remud Kodem Bonidono Bayos. See the previous Amud where we talked about it. Which questions in the Jewish calendar were discussed. It seems that all the issues were resolved. Chachmei Bavel then got the permission, according to their assertion, to determine the order of the Yom Tov. There was one issue which was not resolved. The debarcation starting point, yes, of the Cheshem Malodos. Apia Nisunim Shuvu Ba'al Magisti, which I don't think is a Jewish source. Cheshbon Malodos Achor Ad Shana Aleph Liyitzira. They reckon the Cheshbon Malodos retroactively, the first year of the creation. And they found Molad Nisan Shel Shana Aleph LaYitzira Alexandria, the Molad of Nisan in the first year of creation, Alexandria, which means before the world was created, first year of creation, because the world was created. Actually, not necessarily.
Molad Nisan.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Monday, Alexandria was Wednesday, 8 hours and 872 chalakim, which in Yerushalayim would be Wednesday, 9 hours and 188 chalakim, because Yerushalayim is earlier than Alexandria. The Molad Tishrei afterwards, and which would be the first actual creation, right? Out of Libracious. Alexandria would be Vav Yud Gimel Ral, Yerushalayim Vav Yud Gimel Tarchav. Fi Yafeh, according to the researcher Yafeh, Uchlat Lagel Smalos, the Ofek Yerushalayim L'Shol Shlemos. A lot of assumptions here, right? They decided to round off the Molados according to the horizon Yerushalayim to complete hours. It will come on as follows. So Chachmei Eretz Yisrael rounded up in Nisan. Daled Taled Kapach, Wednesday 9 hours and 108 chalakim. Ideash Matas 188 chalakim. By removing 108 chalakim, Nishar Dalet Tes. Yom Dalet Shah Tes. Dot. Chachmei Bavel went after Tishrei. Yom Vav Shana Yagimel the 626 chalakim. Idea Safa 454 chalakim. Kiblu Vid. Yom Vav Shah Yudalet. Right? Vav Yudalet. So the bottom line was it was a rounding issue.
Okay.
They wanted in Eretz, so they rounded Nisan, and Bava they rounded Tishrei. They both agreed when the Maladas occurred precisely, but the question is when do you round them? So if that's the case, in Eretz Yisrael they added to round up Eilish Shmita 180 chalakim. In Bavel they removed 450 chalakim. Let's see 450 chalakim, but there's in this Hava B'nei Mefresh 642 Shem Tamav chalakim. There's a gap of 640 chalakim. Now it's beautiful. Problem is that
that's where you get Ben Meir's number.
What? Yeah, problem is that's Ben
number.
Meir's number according to this. Problem is that there's never mentioned in the Gemara. Never mentioned before the 19th century. You'd assume that if this rounding up process occurred and there caused such a discrepancy, somebody should have mentioned it somewhere.
Well, but this Va'ada didn't happen until after the Gemara also.
Yeah, but the Va'ada should have left the record then. Somebody should have left the record of this. Nobody did. Right? So, but Tamav Chalakim Eilu Miskademe Mismakeres HaMachloikes Ben Chachmei Eretz Ben Chachmei Bavel. This is the Machlokes Chachmei Bavel Eretz Chachmei Bavel. Avchatas Yisrael Shisha Chadashim. By moving 6 months, a remainder. Beis Dal Talach Mimolad Vid. If we move 6 months from that molad, Dalit Tes Tarmav. Tarmav Echalokim Elu Bikshu Chachmei Eretz Yisrael Losif Lefkilos. Okay, basically saying the same thing in a different way. Habayah Shel Tarmav Chalakim Lo Eiko Azar Chachmei Eibur. As well as not a pressing issue. She'im B'Cheshbon Lodos Mochiach Shemeshach 80 Hashanim HaKrovos for the next 80 years, actually after Tafresh Ben Ches. Lo Yachul Shum Evdel B'Kiddush Shani B'Glal Fresh 642 Chalakim. It's very rare that 642 chalakim make a difference. Then you go many decades without it being a issue. We can assume in that convention, they decided not to decide. And leave a few generations to decide. Based on his reconstructions, they went after Vid. Okay, again, this is it's beautiful when you can do this. When you can just reconstruct history on your own say so. I mean, I did the same thing when I give my svara. So hey, no greater fun than that. We can dictate history. What happened? Isn't that beautiful? So the Shekain Dichios Yemei Adu Malad Zakein Misyachas Sosa Tishrei. This is true. We really don't care about any other month of the calendar. The only month we care about is Tishrei. So he's saying, the only month we care about is Tishrei must be because we made Tishrei the primary molad. Prime molad. We made Tishrei the prime molad. That's what happened in Bavel, right?
Hang on, let me grab a phone. Hello.
Okay, so they decided to take Vid. Shekain Dechios Yemei Adu Malad Zakein Misyachas Tishrei. Uva'am Ravach Yoser Chodesh Tishrei Great Shoshana. It says basically it's like a Baal Batish thing because Baal Batim Tishrei is the beginning of the year. Elishiachim Zeh Rashmu Ras Histaigus. Besides that, they wrote down some note which took issue. So they wrote it down somewhere which we don't have, of course. So we don't know how we know they wrote it down. I don't know, but to look more carefully into it. This also was no evidence for us. This mission was put into the hands of Chachmei Eretz Yisrael. seems that over time, again, in sometime in the 880s, they decided that they're adding 641 chalakim is correct. This is this became the basic foundation in reckoning Malodas Vatchios. Even if it wasn't brought to their attention, or was brought to attention, or was forgotten by them. Okay, but Ben Meir, we'll finish with this for today. The Klaus Shemas Bamras Loisal Koshbal Krias Sharim wasn't. It was kind of like a dormant issue. When 922 came close, it's going to be a big issue in the following three of the ensuing years: 922, 923, and 927. Therefore, he tells very early. The previous for the years Dalit Tarpav and Tupad Alpi Masoras Amras Bamras Shoisabiado based on Masora. Ajeskable de Tosafas Tarmach Halakim Lulach Arba Shearim Bavel by adding those things 41 Halakim. Chachmi Bavel you regilim he says Rosa Bashanim Asos Rejbam Malaros Bukvias Hashanim Livadam. Till now they worked on their own. The Tominim took the same Thomas as well, but they always worked out and as coordinated. Nay. Atosh Olech Lohem Ben Meir, Eskusa Shim Daltar Pad, Velashonim Mikvius Sholahem. This will be different than their views. And next time we learn, we'll see the specific differences and talk about it further. Okay.
Okay, shkoyach.
Marchatim Tova.
Marchatim Tova. Shabbat Tova.